Fox Alert on the westbound 10. This is a police pursuit that suddenly we're picking up. Rick, you up there in Sky Fox?
That's exactly right. The 10 westbound here coming out of the mid-city area towards West LA. You could see this Infiniti, this SUV, this dark-colored SUV traveling in the right shoulder area at a very high rate of speed on the 10 westbound. This started on surface streets in the Miracle Mile area, and it started as just a following. This driver, this car connected to an auto theft. He is making an exit now from the 10 freeway westbound, and we'll get that street for you. You could see a little bit of front-end damage to that SUV. He was involved in a collision on Fairfax just north of the 10 freeway just before we came upon this pursuit. And you are seeing this exclusively on Fox 11 on surface streets now. This is through the mid-city area, the Robertson area. Wow, that another collision almost occurred there. You can see that smaller sedan pulled up to the right shoulder. Now in an alleyway, clearly doing all he can to evade officers here, traveling at a very high rate of speed. This is a very dangerous situation. Again, the driver's already been involved in one wreck. He's wanted for a stolen vehicle. So this black Infiniti, this dark-colored Infiniti, is a stolen vehicle. Coming under us now, we're having a hard time tracking this automobile ourselves. Moving at about 40, 45 miles an hour down this residential area here, and he's moving so quickly and making turns that we're having a hard time keeping up with what street he is actually on. Off the 10 freeway, this is in the Beverlywood area, the Cheviot Hills area, the golf course there, which is just to the north of this location. An older portion of Los Angeles, a suburban area here north of the 10, between West LA and the mid-city area. Now back on a major now, and it looks like, and we're doing loops just as quickly as this driver is. This is a very dangerous situation. He has run through red lights already. Again, there's already been one collision as a result of this, and there may have been some injuries as a result of that crash and front-end damage to this car. This started as a following in the Mid-Wilshire area, the mid-city area. Actually, an undercover officer began to follow the SUV, and once he had that support, the backup from police, the Los Angeles Police Department, and a police airship arrived on scene. LAPD Airship 3 is tracking this as well. That's when they lit him up. That's when they turned on their lights and siren. Code 3, as we call it, and that's when this went pursuit. And here we are, going through residential areas of the Cheviot Hills area, in the center divider area, narrow two-lane road here, traveling westbound, just north of the 10 freeway. He'll be heading over into the Sawtelle area, the West LA area, and Rancho Park. He was on the freeway for a little bit there, the 10 westbound, but it was so busy he thought that the surface streets might be a better bet for him. And you can see he's not losing this LAPD unit. They're staying right on him. And again, they're tracking this from the air as well. At times, if it gets really dangerous, and we've already seen that one collision, units will back off, hoping that he will slow down, and they'll continue to track him from the air. And he is making all kinds of turns left and right. These are residential areas, and with our GPS system, we're having a hard time getting a beat on exactly what street he's on. Turning left, back west now through this residential area. This is more on the west side of LA, just south of the Cheviot Hills golf course in Cheviot Hills, adjacent to Beverlywood. All these communities in the western portion of the city of Los Angeles. You could see some somebody pulling out their trash barrels there. And again, if you ever encounter a situation like this and you are driving in an area, just pull over to the right as safely and quickly as possible. Never try to be a hero. We are literally doing 360s up here in Sky Fox, trying to keep up with the driver. It appears from our vantage point, just the driver inside this SUV. Unclear if there's anybody else, but you could see that the windows are somewhat tinted. We'll widen out a little bit more, and we'll see if that LAPD unit is still trailing him. Yeah, he is. He's backed off a little bit, and wow, we just narrowly missed that truck that was kind of askew there. Making another turn back westbound on surface streets here in the Cheviot Hills. We've been tracking this pursuit now a good 5 minutes or so. And again, it started as just a following. That undercover officer got a beat on this automobile. It's very possible that it has one of those onboard locators. And when it came came across that it was stolen. They tracked it down, and that undercover officer waited for units, the LAPD, to arrive on the ground and in the air. That's when they turned on their lights and sirens, and that was LAPD Airship 3. They're cutting through our picture, and you can see the driver cutting through traffic, weaving left and right, traveling at a very high rate of speed here in the residential communities of Cheviot Hills and Beverlywood, just south of Cheviot Hills Park and golf course here, and north of the 10. There's a pedestrian there. Wow. Again, he is just doing whatever he can, and that's why these guys do it. They think that they have a chance, and we've seen one lately where a suspect was able to evade officers. 99.9% of the time, though, they are apprehended. And as we see, he is violating all of these traffic laws here. Wow, up on the curb, not sure why. Doing a U-turn now. You can see that now. It does look like there is somebody in the passenger seat too, now that we're getting a better in a red shirt there. So possibly a second person in there. Why he's pulling up here, maybe he knows the area. Someone's trying to bail out of the passenger door here. Door is open. Nope, there's officer back closed in a alley there, a cul-de-sac, and making his way back down this narrow, and he TC'd again. Look at that accident. And he's going to continue on. Two people inside the automobile, and it looks like the driver is going to try to bail now. And the passenger, it looks like a male and a female. We're going to stay with the driver here in this residential area. Wow, this is something else. Nobody was in that car. It was parked. Here comes the LAPD unit. Look at this. Watch this. And they're after him, both sides. A male and a female here. We're sorry about the trees there. We'll try to get a better beat on this. Coming around the corner here. And look at these officers trail on foot the driver of this stolen SUV here in the Cheviot Hills. This is really challenging for us to get in an alleyway, and we're going to stay on top of this. And LAPD Airship 3 is on top of this as well. And there are times where our picture can be helpful in trying to locate a suspect who bails like that. We call it a foot bail. Jumped out of the car, a badly damaged car, after he careened into the back end. I think we'll tilt the camera up just a little bit. Vince on the camera in the back here in this tree-lined area here, right off the 10 freeway. And we'll get you a ramp for you in just a moment. By National here in West LA and Palms. The LAPD airship is circling overhead. You can see more LAPD units showing up. Again, two suspects, the driver, a male, a female driver, and this Infiniti, a stolen Infiniti here, being pursued. And officers, it appears that they're standing off somewhat, meaning that they may have both in custody. Let's tilt the camera up just a little bit through that alley. We're seeing more running officers here. Maybe they're getting an idea. If you live in this neighborhood, in the Palms area, Cheviot Hills area, just north of the 10 freeway, and you see something, call 911. All right, let's see what we have here. Maybe they do have at least one of the suspects apprehended. Again, really challenging here, Steve, just to keep up with this. And now in this area, this real tight area with apartment buildings and homes, tree-lined area here. But we saw both suspects, a male and a female, jump out of that SUV and run through this neighborhood. And looks like an officer here who was chasing them, still perhaps looking for the suspects. And I know our desk is tracking this via scanner, so if they have any information as to if they did indeed catch up with those suspects, if they could let us know.
Yeah, Rick, we will check on that. What we're going to do, you're going to stay right there. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll update what's happening here. We also have our guests sitting here very patiently as well. So we'll be doing all of quick break. We'll be right back. All right, 9:50. Again, let's go back to the situation in Cheviot Hills, Rick.
And both suspects that you saw flee that vehicle, that stolen dark-colored Infiniti, are in custody, according to the Los Angeles Police Department, but not before they tried to escape on foot in this neighborhood of Cheviot Hills off of Manning Avenue and Manning Court. LAPD unit still here on scene. LAFD rolled up. It was that patrol car. We were just looking at that. At least one of the suspects, the male suspect, we believe, is in the back seat of. There's the Prius that was hit by that SUV, and it looks like the owner now too getting into her automobile. It appeared from our vantage point that nobody was inside that Prius when it was struck. It was just parked there along Manning Court, the small street, the cul-de-sac there. That was the cul-de-sac that we saw the stolen vehicle, that Infiniti, do the U-turn. We heard of another crash. We did not see the scene there, but the LAFD was called out to Spalding and Cologne here. This portion of Manning Avenue here at Manning Court still shut down, but again, Steve, both suspects in custody, a male and female, wanted on the car that was stolen, that SUV that was stolen. Here's some earlier video that we captured. We were able to turn that around for you, and we will see how this pursuit went down and how it ended here. It traveled through the mid-Wilshire area, got onto the 10 westbound for at least a mile or so, but the driver thought the traffic was a little too heavy on the westbound side, so he exited quickly and then made his way through the residential area here of Cheviot Hills, made that abrupt U-turn in the cul-de-sac. He obviously did not know the area because he turned into a dead end, went up on the grass and made that U-turn, and that's when he eventually struck that white Prius that was parked on Manning Court. At that point, both the driver and the female passenger in the front seat there exited the vehicle, ran on foot, and the LAPD officers were able to catch up with both. Both in custody, unclear of any injuries from the initial collision that we heard about at Spalding and Cologne.
Okay, Rick, thank you. We'll be right back.